So this is the 0 to 9 whiteboard or Wipeboard task. I don't have these everywhere, so sometimes I do them on the small boards. So one day I was trying to help a student who was struggling with number order, and I wrote 0 to 9 on the board and then showed how if we put the 1s, then it's the next number, and then the 2s, and then, but I thought I could explain it better and as if we did it as a task. And so what they do is they write 0 through 9 on the board. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I can quickly tell if they can form their numerals properly, if they know the order without looking at somebody else's or looking at the number chart, if their numerals are facing the correct way. And so like that's a quick thing that I can look at. Sometimes they comment on my 7s with the line through them. And I said that's because some people make their 1s that look almost like that, so that you know that that's a 7 and not a 1. And some of them write their 7s like that, and some of them don't, and it's fine either way. Anyway, so we talk about how we go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then if we add one more 1, what do we get to? And they usually say 10. I say, so we have to put, if we have 1 10, then we have to put a 1 in the tens place. So then I say, can you put a 1 in the tens place for all of these? And we'll see what happens. And so then I can also quickly assess if they put the 1 over here, then I know that that's an issue that we need to go over. But they usually, some of them, anyways, so we make sure everybody has the 1s on this side. And we talk about what numbers these are and how the 1s are still always in the same order. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And we can talk about the number names because some of them are still confused. Make sure that they realize that 3 always comes before the 4 because some kids struggle with the 13 and the 14. And some kids struggle with 15 and 16. So if we remember that 5 goes before 6 and we remember that 3 comes before 4, that's how it always happens in the 1s place. So it's always going to stay like that. So anyways, we talk about, okay, well, what comes next? So what happens if we have one more 1? Well, we talk about it and we listen and people give their suggestions and hopefully we come up with, we get another 10, which we call 20. Well, if we have another 10, what do we have to put in the tens place? Because we already had 1 10, and what's 1 more 10? Well, 1 more 10 than 1 is 2 10s. So then we have to erase these and we're going to put a 2 in the tens place and see what we get. So then again, watching where they put the 2s, because some of them will put them over here. 2, 2, I'm just doing this quickly. And we talk about how, again, look, they're still in the same order. We can talk about the names of these, how we read this as 20. And so if there's a 2 in the tens place, we're always going to read that as 20. So this is 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and so on. And so we keep going, and sometimes I will skip and be like, okay, well, what if we had 5 10s? And hopefully they say that they would put a 5 in the tens place, and so then we'll do that. Or what if you had 9 10s? Well, then we would put 9 in the tens place. So I'm just going to do that quickly. So we put 9 in all the tens places. And again, making sure that they're putting the number in the tens place on the right side. I mean the correct side, which is actually the left side. And then, okay, well, what happens next? What if we get one more 1? Then we make another 10, hopefully they say. And then we talk about how we get one more 10. And so then what comes after 9 10s? It would be 10 10s, which is actually 100. So we talk about how that's 100. And then how when we're starting with our 1s, when we're counting with our 1s, we go 0 through 9 and we go back to 0 through 9, 0 through 9. Same thing happens with our tens place. So when we get to 10 10s, the tens place changes to a 0. And then we get a 1 in the hundreds place. And so that was a struggle for some of them. Some of them were like, okay, well, I know it's 100. And so then they ignored this 0 here and they put zeros over here. And so then we talked about, well, that's how we would count by hundreds, but we're still counting by ones right now. So then we have to put a 1 in the hundreds place and a 0 in the tens place. So it kind of looks like you're putting a 10 in front of all of these. We're not suddenly, we don't count by ones and then jump to counting by hundreds when we get to 100. Some kids do that when they're counting by ones. When they get to 20, they start counting by tens, or sometimes when they get to, not usually when they get to 10, but sometimes when they get to 20, they start counting by 10. So it's 17, 18, 19, 20, 30, 40, 50. So we have different ways to work on that. Anyways, that's the 0 to 9 whiteboard activity. Yes.